finish up the serpentine dresser, have to figure out this whole camera thing. Like, man, I got all kinds of fun stuff to work on. I got to learn Vectric for my CNC router so I can transfer my CAD models to my CAM models, you know, so I don't know what you guys got to do, but that's what I got to do. But this morning I want to talk about this whole war effort that we have going on in the Middle East, right? So the jargon and the words that everyone's using, I've noticed, have changed. Even though it's the same song as the old song, right? It's the same as it used to be. They're using different terms now, and they're trying to, I think, convince us that this is a different strategy. The way that we're going to do these conflicts is different. And when we start having the disassociation with old words like war, you know, they're trying to convince you that there's not going to be a land strike, right? There's no boots on the ground. These are targeted strikes, all these kind of things. It sounds good and it plays well on social media, but the truth is that you're still sending massive amounts of people into a region that they never would otherwise go. You're sending massive amounts of resources into regions that no American's ever going to go to. So we're spending a lot of time and resources in places that Americans, again, are not going to go. So I heard Pete Hegseth recently talk about globalism, right? And I want to explain to you guys what's really happened in globalism. I think that we tend to think of globalism as this thing where we're manufacturing lots of goods in China, we're manufacturing lots of goods in India, we're manufacturing lots of goods in Vietnam and all these places over there in Asia. And what you guys need to understand is that globalism has changed. Globalism has changed a ton. Instead of manufacturing over in Asia, we're actually manufacturing a lot of things in our hemisphere, right? These would be places like Canada and Mexico. Now, the oil industry, I've tried to talk to you guys many times about this. The oil industry has completely changed in America. And I think a lot of people still have this kind of old, antiquated vision of what the oil industry really is, right? So we're over there in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's pumping tons of oil. It's the 1950s when Standard Oil went over there and taught the Kingdom of Saud, you know, how to get oil out of the ground, right? And then they're going to use American dollars to buy all the oil. The petrodollar is widely important, right? So the petrodollar is basically dead. I don't know if you guys understand this. The amount of oil that we get from the Middle East is almost non-existent. The importance of the Middle East as a trading partner is almost non-existent, right? So the whole idea that we need to be in the Middle East, that oil comes from the Middle East, that our trade is moving over into Asia, again, is all kinds of wrong, guys. We do not manufacture in Asia anymore. We do not pump oil out of the Middle East anymore. Things have changed, right? As the song says, shit done changed, has changed entirely. So I want to give you guys some information about what really is going on in the world. Where do we get our oil from? Where do we manufacture our goods? Because again, the media is trying to tell you that we have to be over in this region because it's strategically important to America. And truth is, it's not. It's wildly out of date. This antiquated idea that we have to be over there is non-existent. So anyway, let's go through the numbers real quick, and that way you guys get a quick understanding of what's really going on, and you can kind of read through the lies and the myths that they're trying to tell you guys in the media right now. Because truth is we don't need to be in the Middle East. We don't manufacture in the Middle East. We don't manufacture as much in China. And again, I'm just giving you the quick stats. This is going to be down and dirty cast about what's really going on. You guys put your questions in the cast. You can challenge me, say whatever it is you want. But anyway, my name is Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company. We make about 500 pieces a year. We export all over the country, right? We send a lot of pieces throughout. We bring pieces in from other parts of the country. We are known for our high gloss lacquer coating. We have 8 employees. We do a low 7 figures in business. And I show you guys how to make furniture, how to do the furniture business, how to get in the paint business. We talk about current events. We talk about real things because this is a real channel and we're real people. We don't pander to YouTube's algorithm for advertisers. I don't do any of that shit because I make my money making furniture for you guys. I don't make my money trying to get you guys to click on my cast to try and buy my bullshit stuff made in China. So, all right, what's going on here? Why do we not need to be in the Middle East, okay? You guys need to understand the real numbers about oil production, okay? Because again, this isn't 1950. This isn't Standard Oil going over into the Kingdom of Saud and teaching people, you know, how to get oil and then using the petrodollar, right, to prop up America. This isn't happening. Okay, 50 to 60% of all the oil that we import into America, not that we pump here, but that we import into America comes from Canada, guys. This is our northern partner, and again, you hear Donald Trump talking shit to the north, which it's all credible threats, guys. Like, this guy isn't actually going up there disliking Canada, threatening to cut Canada off, because again, 50 to 60% of all of our oil comes in from there, okay? You know where the rest of our oil comes from? Believe it or not, it's Mexico, right? Tons of oil is coming in from Mexico. We get 6% of all the oil that we import into America comes from Saudi Arabia. Okay, this isn't 1970 where we were getting 70% of our oil, and then when you have a war over there, suddenly the price of gas shoots through the roof, and we're going to have, you know, lines of the gas stations, shortages of oil. America pumps 13 million barrels of oil a day, right? And why is this? Why do we not need Saudi Arabia anymore? Why do we not need Kuwait anymore, right? When we went to war, remember we went to war in 2001 because the terrorists attacked the Twin Towers over there in New York. We went into Iraq because, Iraq had invaded the little tiny country of Kuwait, which was pumping tons of oil and sending it over to America, okay? Those days are over, right? They're over. They're gone, right? There is no need to be over in the Middle East. Not because these aren't good people, not because we don't share interests, even though they're all monarchies and they fucking subjugate their people, but, whatever. We can look aside that, Abu Dhabi, great place to vacation. It's literally like paradise over there because, again, they have this abundance of oil, right? Interesting place. But again, not important that we're over there, right? The only reason we're over there is because this little tiny itty bitty country, again, called Israel, right? Again, it was, remember the Kuwait? We're going to go get the country of Iraq out of Kuwait, and we sent our entire army over there to go fight them, right? Now we're doing it for this little tiny country of Israel. Kind of convenient, right? Kind of interesting. But again, we don't need to be over there, right? If Israel wants to fight this war, it can absolutely go fight anybody that it wants over there. All these guys can blow each other up, right? They can all fight over religion. They can fight over land. They can fight over, who was right 2,500 years ago. We don't need to be there. Our soldiers don't need to be there. Our warmongering government doesn't need to be over there, laying its dick, on top of whatever, Iran, on top of whatever country it wants to fuck with. If it wants to destabilize Syria, it wants to destabilize Lebanon, it wants to destabilize Kuwait, destabilize Afghanistan, destabilize Sudan, destabilize, you can just go through all the countries. Like, this is what we're doing over there. We're just destabilizing everything. So the state of Israel can essentially come in and mop it all up, right? You guys look at Gaza right now, it's carpet bombed, right? Wait till it starts moving and just starts getting rid of all these countries and enforcing its own type of whatever the hell you want to call it. So we don't need to be over there, right? Now, let's talk about trade, right? So trade has changed in a major way. And again, you're talking to a business owner. You're talking to someone who actually imports and exports product from India, right? So I actually understand real tariffs because I have to pay them. I have to negotiate them, right? I have to deal with all that crap, right? I'm an actual American manufacturer. I make real American furniture. I actually have real employees. I'm not some guy in my garage, right? I got rent. I got insurance. I got lots of customers. I got lots of employees that rely on us to make a real product, make a good product, and then sell it to people, bring in revenue, pay their salaries, okay? So where does trade come from, guys? And again, I'm gonna get in your comments. Give me another minute here, minute two, and we'll dig into comments real quick. Trade no longer comes from China, guys. Yes, we get lots of stuff from China, but the truth is, guys, it's all shit. It's all this junk that we buy, whatever, 10, 12, 15 times a year, right? When I talk to you guys about, like, I always say, how many times have you guys been looking for something in your house and you can't seem to find it, and then you're like, fuck it, I'll just order it on Amazon because it'll be here sooner, right? This dirt cheap junk that we buy all over the world comes generally from China, right? But the truth is that most of the manufacturing is being done in Canada and it's being done in Mexico, right? So manufacturing has changed in a major way. So here's the numbers, guys. And I pulled it up here because I didn't want to get them wrong. So the largest trading partner America has is actually Mexico, right? So we're doing essentially $1 trillion worth of trade with this country every year, right? And again, I told you guys, we actually get more oil from Mexico than we get from Saudi Arabia, which I don't think people can wrap their heads around this. But the truth is that Saudi Arabia does not do what it used to do for us, So there's that going on, right? The next is Canada. Canada has $700 billion a year in trade. All right, so our northern partner and our southern partner, right? This is where the bulk of our trade comes from. All right, what are we getting out of the European Union is actually our third, right? European Union, we're bringing in $800 billion a year coming in from Europe, right? All these different countries, Britain, Germany, France, the big popular ones, okay? Now, if we want to look at China, China is essentially $415 billion, right? And it's all garbage, guys. It's all your cheap fucking power cables that you can't get, your garbage, hinges. In my case, I buy these garbage hinges from China, which I hate to do, but I got to find a better hinge. You get all your garbage clothing, people like to buy $5 t-shirts. All that shit comes from China, right? It's kind of a garbage situation. Now, why did this happen? Okay, I don't think enough people understand how the reorganization of trade has been working for a while now. And one of the big things was Trump's tariff policy, right? You guys know me, I'm a tariff guy, I put it out there all the time. Well, what happened was Trump had been putting tariffs on China for a long time. Trump started this in his first administration, and not enough people talked about this. Trump put tariffs on China in his very first administration, and the tariffs worked so well to nearshore manufacturing that Biden kept most of those tariffs in place, okay? Now, Trump comes in April 1st, 2025, and he does the Liberation Day, right? And of course, he bitched out on all of it, but he did start to put these tariffs in here. So since Trump's first administration, countries had been starting to nearshore, right? Moving manufacturing to Mexico, moving manufacturing to China, moving manufacturing to the EU, because these are considered more partner countries, right? These are countries that America has good relationships with, and this has been working, right? Again, like, say what you will about Trump. I've talked tons of shit about Trump. I'm super disappointed with him as a president, even though I voted for him twice. This is one thing that he did in his first administration. Biden carried it over into his administration, and Trump carried it over in his third administration. Those three administrations have moved a lot of China's manufacturing to other places, right? This is very important. People have got to understand that shit has changed when it comes to trade and when it comes to oil, okay? So most of our trade is no longer over in Asia. A lot of it is, in fact, in our hemisphere, which Trump has been talking about, Pete Hegseth has been talking about, Marco Rubio has been talking about. So these guys want this hemisphere to be very friendly to America, to be our trade partners, whatever you want to call it. The things that are getting ready to happen over there in the Middle East and over in Asia are not going to be good for us, right? The war effort, right? The idea that we can just go in and do targeted strikes. You guys notice the language. The language has changed. It's not invading countries. It's targeted strikes, right? It worked in Mexico, right, with knocking out that cartel boss. It worked in Venezuela, with snatching that leader out of Maduro out of Venezuela, right? They're trying to get the same thing to go on here in Iran. You know, maybe this thing goes on for a week, maybe it goes on for 2 weeks, maybe it goes on for a month. They're going to try and get in and get out, and they're going to change what these strikes mean. So next, you know what, are we going to go over and get Xi Jinping over in China? We're going to go run a quick little offensive over there. Maybe we ought to, you know, really stretch out. Maybe we're going to go after Putin next. You know, it's like, the language is getting ready to be very, it's very scary to me, right? As an American, as a manufacturer, who's someone, again, I'm pro-war. I'm one of these guys, like, if you want to go, if America goes to war, it's your fucking ass, right? But this idea that we're just going to go over and preemptively strike people, you know, which is kind of what Israel likes to do. We're going to go over there and do these kind of things. I'm not for that. You know, if you want to come at me, like, you got to come at America first. And again, that's, people don't like it when you say that, but, like, you better come over here and try to attack us or do the terrorist attack thing. And then guess what? We're sending everything at you and we're going to wipe you off the map. This is how I think things need to work in America. But this idea that our military can just constantly go, you know, strike, 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 strike. I'm not for that, right? And so I think it's important that Americans understand oil has changed and trade has changed. So there's almost no disruption when we go over into these countries and we start shit over there, guys. Like, this is the thing. People say, oh God, oil prices are going to go through the roof, okay? I said it I think I said it yesterday or the day before. Oil's going to go up because of the credible threat to the market. Oil's not going to be hurt. The oil industry is not going to be hurt by conflict in the Middle East because, again, America does not get its oil from the Middle East. You know, and other people say, well, the oil all goes out in the market, and then America essentially has to buy it from the market. Again, it doesn't work that way anymore, guys. Like, the market is not going to be interrupted by conflict in the Middle East. Now, if you want to talk about trade, you want to talk about the Strait of Hormuz, right? That's another situation. Now you're talking about trade with Asia, right? So the truth is that the trade is not coming from Asia, guys. The trade is here in Canada. The trade is here in Mexico, right? So things have changed. So a lot of this stuff, guys, are credible threats. Governments use the credible threat theory all the time. I'm not the guy that pioneered this thought. This is essentially the uneducated economist who talks about credible threats all the time. And again, go watch that guy's channel. Google search him on YouTube. Fantastic guy, lives in Astoria, Oregon. He works retail lumber, and he talks about economics. Like, it's, again, I try and tell you guys, like, the experts in many cases today are wrong. They are misleading people. It's very frustrating as a business owner that actually imports and actually makes American products when I have to listen to the experts tell me how importing works and how manufacturing in America works. So anyway, those are the things I want to talk to you guys about. These are the things I think people need to understand. And again, I'll do this as a quick cast. I'm not going to give you guys 2 or 3 hours like I normally do, but we'll talk for a little bit. Let's go see what kind of comments we have in here. I don't know if this is a topic that people even care about, but this idea that going over to war and just snatching leaders out of countries, going over doing targeted strikes on leaders we don't like, this is not a way to run a country, and this is not a way to operate in a world that is very interconnected. But okay, let's dig into it. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. Let's see, Vic 6 Pieces back in here, 3192. Good to see you, dude. Why do you talk so fast? Again, I'm sorry. I literally go into character mode when I get on YouTube. Some people say that I need to slow down. Other people don't care, but I'll take a note of it. It's something that I do need to work on. I do just start talking fast because the truth is, guys, when you get the comments going on, like I said, we get hundreds to thousands of comments in here. And one of the things I try to do in my cast is I try and work through most of them. I do the best that I can, but that means I got to talk fast. I got to dig into comments. I got to read comments fast. I got to jump back into talking. I got to kind of bounce back and forth. And yes, it does lead to talking. I'm sorry, guys. But again, if you're in the stream, hit the like button, add a discussion. Hit the like for Eric slowing down on speech. It's something I do need to work on, but I appreciate the criticism. Okay, let's see. Bende Hoy 419. Love the land behind. Yep. Leg lamp special. It's a cool thing. My mom got it for me years ago. Came in a crate, the whole 9 yards. It was pretty awesome. It's made in Fragile, right? All right, let's see. The one Elite Hoy 757 bird hands. Okay, not sure what bird hands means, but that's cool, dude. Arduoc 2136 America only. Yeah, I don't know if it's America only. The thing about what we're going on, like America is a great partner to a lot of different countries and should be a great partner to a lot of different countries. But one of the things I talk about on this cast, guys, is that the American congressperson, the American politician, and the large corporate American business sold you guys out about 25 years ago at this point, when they let China in the World Trade Organization, right? America sold you guys out in 1994 when we signed NAFTA, right? This is when the process started. They sent all your guys' jobs to the third world. They went from paying you guys whatever it would have been, like 18 bucks an hour at the time, to paying Chinese people about $1 an hour. All of the regulations that we had starting during NAFTA, the American regulations to have clean air, clean drinking water, great labor laws here in America. Again, they circumvented all of those, sent them to the third world, places like China and India, and then they increased the rules here in America, right? Because again, they sent you guys to college then, right? They sent everyone to college, and again, federally backed, right? So again, you could go to college, you could spend $40,000, you could spend $100,000, you could spend $200,000 on your education, backed by the federal government, backed by the taxpayer. While they were doing this, sending you guys to college, giving you the illusion that you're going to be a data analyst, you're going to be maybe an industrial engineer, you're going to do someone who does ROI analysis, right? You're going to be a knowledge worker and a thinker. They were sending all your jobs to the third world, right? Then once you guys got out of college, some of you got great jobs. Other of you couldn't find a job that paid the money that you needed to pay your loans back, right? But again, they're funneling jobs to the third world, right? And again, as we've done this for the last 2 decades, everybody that gets a degree, especially a degree that's already been given out, right? So if you're someone that got a small business degree thinking you were going to go work for Apple, as some kind of a manager, you're the 10 millionth person that's got that degree. Well, guess what? You're not competitive anymore. Unless you're really good at what you do, you're not going to get a job, or you're going to get a job that doesn't pay very well. Or maybe you got to go work as a barista at Starbucks. So again, as we keep doing this, right, the value of that degree gets reduced. And this is just basic supply and demand. And again, dumb guy never graduated high school. Even I understand this. So people that are going in for things like computer science right now, well, guess what? You're the 3 millionth person to get a fucking computer science degree. And guess what? AI is coming for your job too. So as you get out of college, right, you're going to take that entry-level position. Guess what? AI is doing that for you. So now you can't even get that job. You got to be so good that you can basically do an entry-level person's job and above right off the bat, which most people aren't going to do. So again, the jobs are being funneled to the third world. You guys are going to college thinking that you're going to, be rich as a manager working in a cubicle with fluorescent lighting, making 80 grand a year. It hasn't worked out that way, right? So we got major problems here in America. And this is one of the things that I'm always going to talk about, guys. No one can convince me that this didn't happen. Right? This is exactly what happened. So I tell you guys, and again, maybe I'm getting off point here, but when we say things like America only is not helpful. It's not America only because, again, America loves communist countries, right? China, communist country. Vietnam, communist country, right? We're going over to the Middle East right now. These are all monarchies and dictatorships. Like America preaches, we love capitalism, we love democracy, right? We want people to be free. America doesn't want people to be free. I'm sorry, guys. Like what you guys want is you want cheap shit. That's what you want. And the other thing about capitalism, and again, I say this as a business owner, someone who owns a business and loves capitalism, the things that we've been practicing for the last 25 years are not capitalism, guys. They're not. It's protectionism, right? It's literally send all the work to the third world, give you the illusion of getting a job here in America, being a master of the universe because you got a 4-year degree, or maybe even got a PhD or an MBA, right? You come back here to America, or you get out of the workforce, and you can't make the money that you were told. Okay, you got cheap shit, right? You can get cheap televisions. You can buy, cheap pens, or maybe you can buy cheap remotes. But again, buying a car, cars are $50,000 fucking dollars. You guys can't afford the average car. Houses are $400,000. You can't afford the average home. So people stop having kids, right? Because who the fuck wants to have a baby in an apartment? We got big problems here. But anyway, I love your comment. It's not America only. I think that we need to work on bringing more work back to America. We need to work on bringing real jobs back to America. How many times have I told you guys this? You can only support a data analyst if you're taking the product that your business actually makes. Like say you make remotes, right? You can only support the data analyst here in America if you're having the manufacturing of this product done in the third world where they're paying $1 an hour in 2001, right? Versus the 18 bucks they should have been paying you, right? So again, you can afford to do jobs like this, but what we're finding out is the people that are doing the data analysts, people that are doing the engineering degrees here in America, people that are doing the HR jobs here in America, those jobs aren't really that valuable. Like, we got to start making shit here in America again. And if we don't do that, guess what? You're all going to be out of work. And how many times have I told you guys that if you guys are out of work, guess what? Businesses are going to just go like, oh my God, we got to help people. We need to make sure we're hiring people. We got to, get the American worker making money again so that they'll have kids and that they'll get the American dream again. They're not going to do that, guys. They're going to put you all on fucking welfare. And it'll start out as welfare, right? And how many times I've told you guys, as a business owner, like there's an underclass of people in America today. These are people that are generationally poor. They love Section 8. They got food stamps. They got all these kind of stuff. And we keep them there forever because bringing them into businesses doesn't work. We thought, we'll give them all college degrees. They're unemployable, guys. So these people, businesses, we literally pay our taxes just to keep these people out of society. Keep them on welfare, right? And what's happening is that is stair-stepping, guys. So it used to be, the generational black people, right? The generational Appalachian people, right? We kept these people poor forever because we didn't give a fuck about them. Well, guess what? Now it's moved up to where now the person that gets out of college that got the STEM degree, right, or the degree in computer science, well, now they're going to be on fucking welfare as well. Guess what? Welfare is going to turn into UBI, guys. It's going to turn into UBI. Like, again, you guys will have the apartment. You can live in the box, right? You can have the Netflix subscription. The government will pay for that. The government will pay for your, you want to play Call of Duty all day long, they'll pay for that. Maybe you want some weed. They'll give you weed all day long. They'll pay for that shit. Before you know, that'll be on EBT, right? They'll give you all the basic stuff you need to do nothing. And then the corporations are essentially going to keep all the money. They're going to pay for everything. They're going to get everything. And you guys are going to, I don't know where it goes from here, but like wildly dystopian. I'm sorry, guys. But, but again, I talk about this on my cast all the time. As a real business owner that employs people, that wants to employ more people, how many times have I told you guys at this point that I would love to hire the poor black guy that's been generationally poor for 40 years, right? I would love to help the poor white guy who never's fucking worked a day in his life because there's never been an opportunity to work. I would love to help those people, but your government isn't going to give me any kind of an incentive to train the people that are around my factory. They're never going to give me the incentive. They'll give them the incentive to go to college, right? The black person can take the bus all the way to some fucking college, over in Niceville, right? They'll give them money for that. They'll guarantee it with my tax dollars and your tax dollars. But the idea that he could just work around his area and work for a local business, make a local wage, not have to, take a bus all the way into the fucking city, to go learn something that he probably won't even be able to do anything with. The system's wildly broken, guys. Like I've told you guys this many times, but you're all gonna end up on welfare, which will become UBI. Okay, all right, we got America only, but anyway, I appreciate everyone's comments, so let's go through them. Armando Perez, 3040. Human race before anything, we're all people. Yeah, again, humans, we got to work on employing people, guys. We got to give people real jobs, real skills that are tangible. This idea that everyone's going to work on the internet, everyone's going to do this all day long, like, that's not good, guys. It's terrible. It's terrible that it's come to this. Okay, American only. All right, let's see. This is Rolf Palmvist 5095, I guess. Yep, you are like IKEA. Okay, again, I'm not like IKEA. If you guys want to know what kind of furniture I make, go to the resplendentcrow.com. Everyone tells me, slow down. It's the resplendentcrow.com. You guys see the furniture we sell. And again, most people can't afford it, but it's great stuff. It's all made in America. It's how we employ all of our people. It's how I'm able to go into work nice and late. I can go into work kind of whenever I want because I work from home and I work at the factory. So, all right, Christian Galtinsky. Great, man. You're truly a mastermind. Reminds me of a professional yapper. Keep going. Okay, well, I'm not a professional yapper. Okay, Madam Kirky, the China slander is crazy. I don't know if it's slander, but tell me where I'm wrong. Who's this Madam Curly? I want to know where I'm wrong. Tell me, put it in the comments. let's bat it around. Okay, talk shit. This is was this Lampsco? So again, okay, thanks. The lamp is made in China. The lamp is probably made in China. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Christian Wide 582. This guy is an American-made iPhone. This guy. No, okay. So the funny thing about Apple. So in 2001, and again, I'm almost like a history of manufacturing at this point. So in 2001, guess what happened, guys? We let China into the World Trade Organization. What do you guys think the first thing the company of Apple did in 2001? Like, get on Google, guys, go grok it. What do you think you think they continued making stuff in America? You think they pushed to expand manufacturing into America? No, they didn't. They started making everything in China, right? Do you guys remember when Trump did Liberation Day? He's like, we're going to put 100% tariff on China. We're going to put this, he was going to tariff China basically into submission, which would have been awesome, right? Because it would have been good for Americans. Yes, things would have cost more, but it would have been good for us. So he bitched out, of course, right? So what Apple did, you guys go back and read this stuff. I don't know why you guys, you just think that I'm talking shit. Apple said, we're going to move operations to India, right? So again, China can move its entire operation from country to country to country to country to country, but it can't move operations back to America because, again, you guys cost too much money. The insurance that it takes to employ you, right? You guys think that it's just healthcare, dental care. You don't understand that there's a fucking whole bunch of other insurance that we have to pay in order to employ you guys. You want a ton of high wages, right? You want respect. You want nice roads. You want, clean drinking water. You want to be able to breathe clean air. You want all this stuff. Well, over in China, they don't give a fuck. They just want work. And again, they can move operations all the way over to India because Indians don't give a fuck. They just want work, right? So the reason you can't get shit brought back here to America is not because Apple can't move operations back to America. It's because y'all are just too expensive. There's too much red tape. There's too much permitting. There's too much process. There's too much everything to bring operations back to America. So if you guys want to fix that, you could push for your politicians and your local, your state, your federal, all these people to reduce the red tape. That's really all you guys got to do. But again, Apple, no. So Apple hasn't made shit here since 2001. So they actually just said that they're going to start bringing operations back to America. And I forget what they're going to make. Was it, it might have been their iPhone. It might have been one of their iPhones they were going to bring back here. I don't remember. But I mean, how many times have you guys heard, Americans can't do this work. Americans don't want to do this work. And they'll say, oh yeah, well, Apple's going to bring it all back here. It's all going to be automated, right? Again, there's a lot of automation. Guess what? There's automation in my business, right? I make fucking furniture. We all automate, right? But we always need workers. We always need people to do the work, right? Because a business's job is to employ people to make products, to make services, to solve a problem for customers, right? And everyone says, no, it's just to make money. Again, anyone that says that a business's job is just to make money is fucking full of shit, right? And again, take that from me, a business owner who actually employs a shit ton of people and moves a shit ton of product, okay? That is not what a business's job. I don't have a fiduciary responsibility to my shareholders. Again, people that say that kind of stuff, that's one of the things that's just crushed this country, guys. It has just made it so hard for normal people to get normal work. It's really sad. So anyway, okay, but I appreciate the comment. Okay, what is this? I guess this is supposed to be no me no. 9856. Is that Lamb from Christmas Story? This is absolutely Lamb from Christmas Story. Okay, Christian Med 552, furniture expert, oil expert, tariff expert, pro-war expert. Wow, you should work for Fox News. Again, I am not a pro-war expert. Yes, I am a furniture expert, right? I am a tax expert, and I am a tariff expert, but I am not a war expert. I don't know anything about war, guys. I just know that we are not bringing in tons of oil from the Middle East, right? I just gave you guys the numbers, right? We are not manufacturing, or the Middle East isn't important for manufacturing. In fact, we're manufacturing everything in our own hemisphere. So when Fox News tells you, oh no, we gotta be over there in the Middle East. We gotta, make sure we stabilize the Middle East. You gotta have a safe Middle East. It's strategically important to America. No. It's strategically important to the state of Israel. That's it. And if you guys listen to our own ambassador, Mike Huckabee, he literally told Tucker Carlson that Israel is entitled to basically the entire Middle East. Okay, so that's really what's going on over there, guys. I hate to tell you this. Again, how many times have I said it? We don't need to be in the Middle East. If Saudi Arabia, Iran, Israel, whatever, Kuwait, and pick any of these countries, if they all want to, bomb each other into oblivion, great, let them do it. We're going to be over here living large, having a great life, making shit, providing services for other people, getting paid, right? This is how an economy is supposed to work. That's how it should be. But again, everyone's going to tell you guys that it's strategically important that we're in the Middle East. And I just told you guys, our largest trading partners are Canada, Mexico, and Europe. That's it. That's it. And Europe is third. So Canada and Mexico, largest trading partners. Again, it's not China. And you guys that think that China is this massive trading partner, it's not. It's not even half of what we get from Mexico, okay? Where does all the oil come from? The oil comes from Canada, guys. It's not coming from Saudi Arabia anymore. It's not coming from Kuwait anymore. The next largest country that we get our oil from as a percentage of total volume that we bring into America is Mexico. It's not even Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia isn't even third. So again, this idea that we have to be over in this region, it's a complete lie, guys. It's a total lie. So, all right, keep going. You know, and Christian Med, again, you like to come in here and you love to, you know, talk smack, but I appreciate it. Anybody that comes in here and goes back and forth with me every day, I love it. So again, sub to the channel, guys, if you like knowing about furniture, you like knowing about how to paint furniture, you want to learn how to start a company, you want to learn how to make furniture, you want to learn how to paint, work with metal, all these kind of things. I put all that stuff on my channel, but I try and talk once a day about a current event, whatever it might be, and I love going back and forth with people. And again, I am a tariff expert. I am a manufacturing expert. I'm a made in America expert, right? You guys want to learn how to manufacture in India? At this point, I'm an expert, okay? And again, how am I an expert? Because I actually do it. I don't just talk about it. I don't have a PhD and fuck all, right? I actually have these companies, and I actually do the work every day. I employ real people, and I make real shit in America as an American business. I don't call myself a business owner by having all my shit made in the third world, bring it back in here and sell it to you guys at massively marked up prices and then call myself a business owner. I don't consider those people to be business owners. So there you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it there, Christian. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got the lamp. Everyone likes the lamp. May, come and curl. Okay, the guy loves his own voice. Again, I love talking. This is cathartic. This is essentially my socializing, right? This is what happens when you own a business. Guess what? You really have to work. It's actually really hard. And most people think that we just live large. We just print money. You know, I'm balling out of control. My Lambo. I got my palace in the hills. Like, it doesn't really work that way. Work is one of these things that it's never ending. So, hate to tell you that. Okay, nice to hear someone appreciate criticism. It's lost on many these days. Yeah, no, I love, and this is, it was this, Valaine Popowski Jr. Yeah, again, I take all, I don't know everything. In fact, I tell you guys all the time, I've never graduated high school, man. I'm fucking dumb. But I do have a lot of experience, and I tell you guys what my experience is. Again, you want to call me an expert, you want to call me an idiot, I don't care. Just give me the information. All right, good coffee. Yes, I always have good coffee. I drink Pete's coffee, Major Dickinson's blend. I love it. I've been drinking it forever. All right, let's see. Vic seeks peace. Thoughts on Gen Z workers? You guys want to hear some stories about hiring Gen Z workers? I'll give you one real quick. All right, so what I hired a Gen Z worker, and I remember hiring him, and I don't remember his name. This would have been years ago. This would have been, I think, just before COVID. It might have been during COVID. I forget exactly. But anyway, he was we hired him because he was a young kid, and he had a college degree, but he couldn't get a job doing the thing that he got his degree. And it wasn't a great degree. It wasn't basket weaving or the ones that people always make fun of. It was like a decent degree. But anyway, he couldn't get a job. So he came and wanted to get a job for us. I'm like, yeah, I'll hire you, whatever, man. And we were teaching him how to disassemble furniture and reassemble furniture. So what we do, one of our revenue streams, is that we'll take vintage furniture, like take like an old dress or whatever. We take it apart. We take off all the hardware, we bag all the hardware, we tag all the hardware, right? So we want to know exactly where all the hardware goes. So you have to tag everything, and then you have to, label everything. You got to name the furniture. You got to do all these kind of things. Well, he started talking about how he couldn't wait for Bernie Sanders to get elected as president because Bernie Sanders was going to pay off his student loan, okay? And it sounds a little bit simplistic, but this is the general mindset that I take from Gen Z workers. Like, they are just waiting for somebody else to solve their problem, okay? And this is how I see it. There are some good Gen Z workers, but truth is I don't have any Gen Z workers that work for me, okay? The only Gen Z worker that works for me is a guy who fled from Syria, right? He became a refugee in Germany, came to America, and came to work for me, barely spoke any English. His wife literally walked into my business. She followed us on Instagram and asked for a job. Asked for a job for her husband. Showed me all the carvings and stuff he had done in Syria. And I was like, yeah, I'll hire you. Again, hardly spoke English. He's now been working me forever. He is an American citizen. And this guy is he is the most American patriotic tax-paying guy you've ever met. He doesn't want anyone to solve his problems, okay? So Gen Z, in my opinion, want someone else to fix their problems, and they're pissed off that they, again, haven't seen the success, I guess, that they want to see, so they're very easily defeated. they're very easy to not judge, but they're very easy to blame somebody else for their problems. And this is just my experience hiring these people. And again, I'm sure there's plenty of good ones out there, but that's just my limited experience with dealing with Gen Z, right? So anyway, and again, Gen Z just thinks these are American people. No, Gen Z are any group that's been born all over the world. And again, I got one Gen Z worker, came from Syria, amazing worker. I hired another Gen Z worker, couldn't wait for Bernie Sanders to pay off his loans. So again, which one do you think worked out? So there you go. There's that for you. Okay, we got, this is, again, guys, I'm going to go to 45 minutes and then I'm going to end this cast. I got to get to work. I got things to do, but let's keep going. Thoughts on Gen Z workers? I answered your question. Io Watted, 00 Fam 13, bald. Yep, always bald. Robin Wyckoff, 3406. Oops, facts. Jake Slats, AI ain't coming for my job. Good, man. Jake Slats, let us know what you do, man. AI can't even do my job. Let's hear what you do, man. Again, you guys want to talk about AI? This is why I'm telling you guys that the last 20 years to 25 years, when we're sending all the work to the third world, they brought you guys, they sent all the work to the third world while they sent all of you to college, right? They told you you're going to work in an office, you're going to work on a computer, you're going to send emails, you're going to do data analysis, you're going to, be an engineer, you're going to do all these kind of things in the virtual world. And truth is that AI has now come in and wiped out a ton of those entry-level jobs. So the idea that you're going to go to college today and you're going to be the next Steve Jobs, good fucking luck. You need to pick up a hammer, you need to pick up a torch, you need to pick up, a screwdriver, you need to pick up a frickin' jackhammer, you need to do something that's real and tangible. And unfortunately, the best way to do that, and people fucking hate this when I say this, the best thing for you guys to do is start working in high school. Again, if you got kids right now, get your kids in an HVAC company, in a company that frames houses, that builds houses, right? Get into a company that's doing electrical work, right? A company like mine that's making something. I make furniture, right? Maybe you're making cabinets, maybe you're making anything. Get them into a company that makes some shit. If they want to go to college while they're holding down a regular 40-hour job, great. But they need to endear themselves to a company. They need to endear themselves to a trade that does something tangible. And people misunderstand me when I say trade because they think, oh my God, that means electric, right? That means being an electrician, being a welder, being a plumber. And again, all those things apply, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything that requires you to work with your hands. Because again, you can't automate that work away. You could bring the third world in here, which is a thing that has been happening for a long time, and you could try and vote for someone to kick all those fucking people out to give your sons and daughters more opportunity to work, which they're not doing, by the way, or those companies can outsource that work to the third world, right? That's worked for a long time, but again, that's clearly changing. That work is coming closer to America by way of Canada, by way of Mexico, but the best advice I have is don't do what Gen Z did, don't do what the millennials did, go get a real fucking job, and while you work, endear yourself to that company, endear yourself to that trade. If you want to go to college while you work, I think there's great value. I think having both of those things would be great, but being able to make a tangible thing is much more valuable than having a college degree, okay? Plain and simple. All right, let's see, greetings, Stormy, Monday, Missile, word of the day, civilization, when? Okay, this is Pat Lucio, 8612. All right, cool, man. We got Jaybird, 3576, AI's assistant optimization, not a job stealer, more boomer leave. Okay, cool. Excuse me, LARP. Okay, that's cool. Again, when you need a job because AI stole your career or they outsourced it to the internet, hit me up. All right, EBT, CBD. Yeah, it's going to happen. This is Berserkers are again. You guys are, it wouldn't surprise me if drugs become an EBT thing. Again, like these people that are on EBT or on SNAP, whatever you want to call it, they love drugs. There's clearly a correlation between being, someone who can't get a job or be in the civilized world and doing drugs. Like there's a direct correlation there. And again, the government legalizes all this shit, and I don't understand why. Okay, Corvalon, yeah, Corvalon, true that. Juan Morales, City F. AI's coming for all these easy jobs. Again, I think so, and I could be wrong, but whatever, man. Stolen, vandalized records, Saliva or Spice. I don't know what the hell that means, dude, but I love the band Saliva. Remember their song Fast and the Furious? It was fucking awesome. Okay, what's your opinion on the idea and bank info implant that EU is trying to put into law? I don't know anything about that, dude. Again, implants, I think implants are going to be good. I'm one of those people that would love to have an implant. Again, I'm one of those people, I'll take the, if you guys want to, if I can get rid of the phone, you just want to put the thing in my hand and I can just swipe, or you want to put it in my wrist and I can search my phone, like I'm all for that stuff. But again, I don't think it's, I don't think that's just coming coming anytime soon. Okay, Christian Medwid, 852, nice roads, go drive in Philadelphia, I like drive. Yeah, again, we got all the money in the world to go to a part of the, we got all the money in the world and the resources, right, military, whatever, hardware, to send over to the third world, right, which is not an easy thing to do, by the way. We got all the money for that, but again, fixing shit here in America, yeah, no time for that. We can't get, I mean, there's so much process involved, right? I mean, this idea that, Congress might have to do its fucking job, or this idea that we might have to actually funnel money to poor people that helps them, improve their lives rather than just keep them poor. Like this idea that we would actually have to maybe like take fucking drug heads and sick people off the streets and take care of them and actually do something. Like, oh, we don't have any money for that. Like, oh, the process is so hard. Oh my God, mass deportations. Like, oh my God, we can't do that. Like, 80 million people voted for mass deportations. Like, oh, we can't do that. It's not, it doesn't look good, right? And the process, right? We got so much process, right? And there's always process for the stuff you guys want that would actually help you out. There's no process for the things that government wants, that the elite people want. Like, there's no process for any of that shit. They always find a way to get it done. It sucks ass, man. Okay, Christian Med, nice. Okay, you got your comment. We got Bathtub Bob. Great name, dude. Time, can't wait, your mama waiting. Okay, hot tub time, I love hot tubs. Christian Bed Wide, 852, China Huawei phones are much better than, and again, I agree. The Huawei phone is freaking awesome. Like, you guys go do some research on Huawei. The problem, or at least we were told, I don't know if it's actually true or not, is that when those phones come in from China, they got, software that collects your data and does all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of worry about things coming in from China. And I don't know if that's propaganda or not. Again, why wouldn't iPhone do the same thing? Why wouldn't Android do the same thing? They're not worried about the Android coming out from South America. They're not, or South Korea, and they're not worried about the iPhone that also comes from China, by the way. But Huawei's phone out of China is a problem. Like, I don't know if that's propaganda. I don't know if there's anything to that. But I think Huawei makes great products. One of the real problems we have here in America is that, and again, this is, I don't know if you guys will believe this or not, but the truth is that almost every industry in America today has massive consolidation, right? And I'll probably close on this. I'll go through more comments, but let me close with this. There's been massive consolidation in America for the last good 15 years, right? So whether that's furniture, whether that's tech, whether that's, AI companies, whether that's, t-shirt companies, whether that's fashion, automotive, anything you want, there's been massive consolidation, guys. And whenever you have consolidation, it means you have less competition. It means you have less places and businesses to buy different kinds of products from. And with that mass consolidation comes an increase in pricing, right, which we've all seen, and comes with a lack of innovation, right? So what large companies like to do is, instead of giving you guys really cool shit right away, right, go from one year to another, you get these massive generational improvements. What you get is you go from a 10 megapixel phone to a 12 megapixel phone, instead of them just giving you the 20 megapixel phone that they'll give you 5 years later, right? They incrementally increase the value of the product you're buying so they can get you to pay for it every year, every other year, right? That's what they're trying to do. And when you have lots of competition, guess what? Everybody wins, because there's mass escalation in the technology that increases production, the technology that increases marketing, the technology that increases features, the technology that reduces prices. There's massive improvements and all that stuff. And when you have the consolidation, guys, the exact opposite happens. And this is what I think has been happening in America for, like I said, a good 15 years at this point. But maybe I'm wrong. So, all right, let's go through. Again, I'll give you guys to 45 minutes, and then I got to get out of here. Let's see, bathtub time. All right, bathtub time, we got it. Let's see. Madam Curley says Boston area is the same, and the roads are ridiculous. Yeah, everyone's roads are fucked, guys. Like, they're terrible. Again, there's not a lot of money for the things that make America look like Abu Dhabi, right? But there's tons of money to protect Abu Dhabi, right? There's not a lot of roads to make things look like Saudi Arabia, right, in Riyadh. But again, there's lots of resources to send over to Saudi Arabia. Like, they have universal health care in Israel, guys. You know that abortion's legal in Israel? Again, you guys are going to give me that shit here. We'll pay for these other countries to do all that shit. Like, when we give money to Saudi Arabia, you realize this is a monarchy, right? They'll cut your fucking hands off if you break the law. Again, that doesn't apply here in America. We can't even get fucking accountability for the Epstein files. We can't even get our politicians to admit that they did anything wrong. Like, we can't get any of that shit. But again, we can always send resources and money to all these places that do all the nasty shit that we would never do here in America, or that have rights and privileges that we don't have here in America. I find that to be wildly interesting. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go. Let's see where we're at. Boy, I did okay. So, we got Christian Carb Strong. Let's see. Christian Carpstar says, good, we got to fight for everything. Keep fighting the good fight. Yep, we sure did. Oh, shit, this guy is still talking. I know, I'm still talking. You're still here, too. All right, Mike Murphy's in here. Mike Murphy, good to see you, dude. But don't go to printing, though. That's the worst trade. That's the less pain trade. Sure what printing means. Okay, Madam Madam Carly. But the name thing pisses me off. They intentionally disrespect their viewers and they depend on so much. Again, I don't depend on viewers. Like, I don't make any money on YouTube. YouTube isn't where I make my money. I have a real business. I don't have to pander to people. That's what we get in this stream. I get people that actually want to listen to real talk about real things. I'm not trying to tell you guys what you want to hear. I'm trying to give you real information from a guy that actually makes some shit, that really employs people, that really does that really does importing and exporting. And again, you guys can believe the experts. You can listen to whoever you want. That's a great thing about YouTube. There's a lot of competition, right? There isn't consolidation of streamers in the world. Like, there's more streamers than ever, but people go to the people that they want to listen to, that tell them the information that they want to hear, and that's fantastic. I think it's great. It's the capitalization, the democratization of the digital space. All right, Christian Scrubstrom, I don't do that when I stream. I just build and talk to my followers. Open conversation, we create conspiracies. Yeah, and Christian, I think you're wrong. You're right, man. All right, projection. Yeah, there's probably a lot of projection here. Song was called Boom. That's right, yes. Again, I loved Saliva. I thought they were a great band. I don't know whatever the hell happened to them. Like, they were amazing. Remember, like, Stained was out at that time. Stained was a great band. I know Aaron Lewis still, does a lot of touring, but, like, man, there was some great music during that time. You guys remember Cold? Oh my God, I still listen to Cold today. I love that band. Or there was, God, who am I listening to right now? I'm listening to, they sing a song called Payback. It starts with an F. God damn it, I'm drawing a blank. There's a lot of these great bands. Finch, I listen to Finch. I love Finch. They were kind of from that era as well. Like, so much good music. So anyway, great comment, Christian Carbstar. I love that music. Okay, you're literally monetized on YouTube. Stop acting like you're not getting paid for these streams. Okay, now he's lying and saying he don't need viewers. Okay, again, so you guys want to know what I make on YouTube? So I've been monetized for basically 1 week on YouTube. I do a stream a day. Sometimes I do 2 of them. I don't even turn monetization on my live streams, right? I turned monetization on 1 live stream, and it was the stream I think I did yesterday. It got 1,000 views. It got something like 500 comments, and I think it had like 50 some hours of watch time, okay? So what will I get paid for that? I honestly don't know. My channel has made $9.53 since I was monetized a week ago. So if you want to tell me that I want to pander to you guys for $9.53, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that wouldn't even pay for my coffee for 2 days. Like, what am I going to do with that money? So again, getting paid on YouTube is not what you guys think it is. Now, I could turn on ads. I could turn on everything and just flood you guys with ads. And maybe ads are turned on this stream. I have no idea, but you actually have to go in and turn monetization on for live streams. Now, monetization is turned on for all the 964 videos that I've made. Monetization is turned on for all those. And again, the money is starting to trickle up. Maybe I'll turn into something, but again, like, this isn't a money-making endeavor for me, trust me. Okay, so anyway, there's some back-end monetization stuff for you. So, okay, guys, last couple comments here. Okay, it's Berserk Zerg. Again, appreciate you, dude. Like and subscribe, folks. Yeah, again, like and subscribe if you guys like this kind of content, you like real conversations about real things. You guys want to, like I said, you guys want to know how to start a business. You want to know how to beat inflation. You want to know how to not graduate high school and get a company going and make this shit work. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. There's no recipe. I don't have a book to sell you. I don't have a subscription to sell you. I don't have the, get rich in 60 days plan. Like, I don't make any money off that. I would never try and, screw people over like that. It's real conversation about real things. That's all I can talk about. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. And yeah, Fragile. That's right. I love that comment. Anyway, you guys have a great week. Let's crush it this week. Hopefully we don't, get bombed anymore. Hopefully we don't lose an aircraft carrier to hypersonic missiles. Hopefully, Trump doesn't decide to go snatch another leader out of another country. Hopefully, Trump doesn't change his mind on tariffs again or some wacky, wish-washy thing. Hopefully we can just go in and have a normal, easy week, right? Easy, calm, woo-saw. We'll go to another movie. Woo-saw.